Everyone wants to lead a healthy, successful, and a long life. And there have been various studies on how one can lead a longer life by taking care of their body through exercise, meditation, food, and whatnot. It's tempting to think that with enough omega-3s, kale, and blueberries, you could eat your way 200 years. But what if there was another way to live longer? What if I told you that there are 5 places on earth which have the highest concentration of individuals over 100 years old? These areas have a higher than usual number of people who live much longer than average. And they also have grown old without any health problems like heart diseases, obesity, or diabetes. These areas are called blue zones. And today we will learn more about these places and figure out what exactly people living in these areas do differently than the rest of the world. But before that, remember to hit the like button to show your support for the channel. Let's begin. Blue zones are regions of the world where a high number of people live longer than the world's average. The term first appeared in Dan Buettner's National Geographic magazine cover story, The Secrets of a Long Life, in 2005. These areas are incredible because the people there not only live longer but better. Besides having a large percentage of people that live to 100, the aging population also remains active well into their 80s and 90s, and typically do not suffer the degenerative diseases common in most of the industrialized world. Let's look at these 5 blue zones individually. First is Ikaria in Greece. This island is 8 miles off the coast of Turkey and has some of the world's lowest rate of middle-age mortality and dementia. Next is Okinawa in Japan, the largest island controlled by the country. Okinawa is home to the world's longest living women. Sardine in Italy, a mountainous highland, boasts the world's highest concentration of men who have lived at least 100 years. Next up is Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica. In this region of Central America, residents have the world's lowest rate of middle-age mortality and the second highest concentration of male centenarians. Finally, we have the small town area of Loma Linda in California, where some residents live 10 more healthy years than the average American. As you might have noticed, residents of these places produce a high concentration of centenarians, suffer a fraction of the diseases that commonly kill people in other parts of the world, and enjoy more years of good health. The name for these areas, Blue Zone, is derived from a study in genetics. Based on this study, blue zones are also areas whose native flora grows under special conditions and can effectively counteract the aging process. Now obviously, after all this, you might be wondering what exactly makes these places so different. What are the residents doing here that makes them live such a long and healthy life, which the rest of the world can only dream of? There have been various studies done in these regions, but the most famous and well recognized has been published by Dan Buettner himself. He found that the people inhabiting blue zones share common lifestyle characteristics that contribute to their longevity. He called them the 9 lessons that we can learn. The people in these areas do moderate and regular physical activity, mostly as part of their normal routine. These are activities like walking, gardening, doing housework, and others. This does not mean that they are running marathons or going to the gym. They just move naturally based on their routines. The longevity is also said to be contributed by what they consider to be their life purpose. Knowing why you wake up in the morning makes you healthier, happier, and adds up to 7 extra years of life expectancy. People living in Okinawa, for example, call this concept as Ikigai. Stress is part of life, but blue zone centenarians have stress-relieving rituals built into their daily routines. They cope with stress by having social support groups in which they confide and regularly interact with. People in blue zones stop eating when their stomachs are 80% full and eat their smallest meal in the early evening. They mostly consume foods which consist of whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and some spice. Moderate but regular consumption of wine is part of the blue zone lifestyle, which is believed to provide some benefits to overall health, such as reduction in cardiovascular problems. Another contributing factor is involvement in religion and spirituality, associated with better health outcomes, greater longevity, better coping mechanisms, and increased quality of life. The inhabitants of blue zones engage in social support and family-oriented practices, and learn that these choices and outcomes will have an impact not only on themselves but also on their families. Therefore, there is a much greater drive for social cohesion and consideration for others. Finally, social ties, which have a significant impact on physical health, are emphasized within the lifestyle of those living in blue zones. The need for different social relationships are considered important in reducing stress and its related issues. There is no physical fountain of youth. You don't have to move to these far-flung places to add years to your life. It also can't be chalked up to only good genes, as they indicate only 20% of longevity. Lifestyle and environment account for the rest. So build your habits to be healthy and take care of your personal environment. People in blue zones are not trying to be healthy. They take care of their personal space, which in turn helps them to lead a healthy life. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next week, cheers.